Welcome back, guys. It is Tuesday, April 28th. Hope everybody had an awesome weekend. You know the drill. It's virtual math. Still coming at you from the man cave. Still going over Fantastic Five questions. Hopefully yesterday's five didn't give you too much trouble. But if they did, that's why you're here. I'm going to show you how to solve them, how I would solve them. Give you a couple different options. That way, before you take today's Fantastic Five, you'll be ready to go. So any mistakes that you made yesterday, maybe you can avoid those today. I went with the Cubs throwback today. Again, different jersey every single video until I bring back sports, which I have nothing to do with it, but I like to think in my brain up here that maybe I do. All right, so we're going to get right into it here. Let me get Fan 5 pulled up from yesterday. Here we go. All right. So with this first question with the protractor, this to me is kind of something that's difficult to teach over a computer. You can watch videos and you can do this and that, but it's a lot different to not have somebody actually showing it to you in person. So this video actually, I think, should help some people with the actual protractor part. So if you look here, it just wants to know the measure of the angle. So the first thing I always do is I try to kind of just ignore the protractor to start and look at the angle. So I'm looking at the two rays, looking at where they meet. And the question that I would ask myself is, and this goes back a few weeks, I think before spring break, am I looking at a straight angle? Am I looking at an obtuse angle, a right angle, or an acute angle? Because that's going to help me with where I need to look on the protractor. So if I'm looking at the angle, my baseline is always that right angle, that perfect L, and this is significantly smaller, which means that this is going to be an acute angle. So then I would use the knowledge that I have on an acute angle, and I know that an acute angle is less than 90 degrees. So when I'm looking at my angle and I'm following this top ray up here on the protractor, I got a couple sets of numbers, and the videos may tell you something different, and your teacher may even tell you something different. But the reason why I look at the type of angle first is that eliminates one of those sets of numbers. If I know this is an acute angle and I know it's less than 90 degrees, I don't need to look at this top row out here. I know it's not going to be between 140 and 150 degrees. That would be an obtuse angle. Meaning, I'm looking down here at this first set of numbers, all right? Now, once you know the set of numbers, then you kind of have to follow the ray and look at your lines and see where it falls. And using your answer choices too kind of helps, because if you look at your answer choices, C and D, they could be gone immediately, all right? So now I know it's either 45 degrees or 35 degrees. You've got to see which way the numbers are going, because depending on which set of numbers you're looking at, go in one direction, they're increasing, going to the other set of numbers, they're decreasing. So I kind of just like to start down at 0, and I can see going up this protractor, these numbers are increasing. It's going 10, 20, 30, 40. And this line falls right in between 30 and 40. So my answer choice has to be more than 30 and less than 40. The only answer choice that fits there would be B, 35 degrees. And if you look, it falls smack dab in the middle. If you wanted to, you could even count these lines here, because you know this is 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35 degrees. So my suggestion on that question, figure out what type of angle it is first. Once you know what type of angle you're dealing with, you've immediately gotten rid of one of those sets of numbers. Then figure out whichever direction you want to go. Are my numbers getting bigger or smaller? That way it's going to help you figure out, okay, my answer has to be bigger than this, smaller than that. Once you get that down, I could give you 1,000 pictures and you get them all right. But that one, I was telling my students last week, this is a hard concept to learn just looking at pictures and looking at YouTube videos. This is something you got to do. Practice makes perfect. But hopefully that kind of gives you a better idea of how I would do it in class with my students. All right, that was one. I don't even know if I gave you the answer, but it was B. All right, numero dos. During quarantine, we have watched 30 hours of PJ Masks, 50 hours of Bubble Guppies. Holy cow. So Catboy, Owlet, and Gecko are trying to run a total of 30 miles. Catboy ran 11 2/3 miles, Owlet ran 10 1/3 miles, and Gecko ran the rest. How many miles did Gecko run? So we can go whiteboard for this one. I said it before, I'll say it again. Anytime that I am using or I have more than one thing, one person, I'm going to do a chart or some sort of picture. So I've got Catboy. Oh no, where's my toolbar? Oh, I'm struggling. Bear with me, people. I'm back. Boom. All right. I've got Catboy, Owlet, Gecko. And I know that Catboy ran 11 2/3 miles. That's a 2. Owlet ran 10 1/3. And I don't know Gecko's total, but I know he ran the rest. Most importantly, I know that all of those together have to be equal to 30 miles. So again, here's where you've got options. The way I show you might not be the same way that you did it, and that's fine. Multiple ways to do it. What I would do here is, if I know the total's 30, I would go ahead and add up what I already have, subtract it from my total to see what's left. Because once I see what's left, that's going to just represent Gecko's total. So I would do 11 2/3 plus 10 1/3. Uh-oh. We're going to see what we would get. All right, so that's really sloppy, sorry. Start with my whole numbers. I'd go 11 plus 10, and that's going to give me 21. And then I would do 2/3 plus 1/3, which I'm able to do, same denominator, and that gives me 3/3. Now, guys, let's say that this was the answer. You will never see 21 3/3 as an answer choice. It just won't be one. You've got to know that 3/3 represents one whole. So instead of putting 21 3/3, really, that's saying 22. All right, so together, Catboy and Owlet, they ran 22 miles of the total 30. So to figure out what's left, we would take that total, we would get rid of what they ran, and we'd have to do a little bit of regrouping, but that would leave Gecko with 8 miles. So honestly, that one's kind of similar to the question last week. It was something's this long, how wide is it? It's kind of similar to that perimeter question. Same thought process. You're just adding fractions on this one. Now, I will tell you this. Starting, I think, tomorrow, this question is going to get a lot trickier. It's not going to be whole number minus whole number. Eventually, you're going to have to throw some fractions in there, but that'll be a good review for us because it's been a little while since we've done that. All right. So that was 2. Moving on to number 3. All right, it says Bubble Puppy again, won the doggy lottery. He won 245 boxes of puppy treats. If there are 5 treats in each box, how many treats does he have total? So a couple words that stand out. Each kind of gets my mind going a little bit. You've got multiplication or division, but then you see total. Now total tells me normally to add. But that's when each and total kind of work together, because repeated addition is the same thing as multiplication. So that each is kind of going to tell me, okay, I need to do some multiplying here. And I'm a big visual person. Like, I can close my eyes and I can see, hey, here's 245 boxes. 5 here, 5 here, 5 here, 5. You're basically skip counting by 5s, but it's going to be way easier for us to just multiply instead of doing skip counting. If you really wanted to do that, you could. Take you a little bit longer. So we've got our 245 boxes of puppy treats, 5 in each box. You just stack them and you multiply. And this is another example of a question that will get more difficult as the week goes on. So starting in the ones place, 5 times 5, 25. 5 stays, 2 goes, don't forget it. So now we're going here, 5 times 4 gives you 20, plus 2 more gets you 22. 2 stays, 2 goes, don't forget the 2. And last but not least, we're going across to the hundreds place. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 more is 12. So if the question's asking how many puppy treats does Bubble Puppy have, it would have been 1,225, which would have given you the answer choice of D. Okay. Number 4. This one told me everything I needed to know. This question alone separates the people who work really, really hard from the people who don't. If you missed this question and you chose A, you gave very little effort. If you got this question correct, I'm looking at your data, I'm looking at your name, I'm writing it down saying, wow, so-and-so did awesome. Because for this one, I wanted to know which one of these patterns shows the rule +6. Here's what I guarantee happened. I bet you that the letter A was chosen by 50 people. Because that's 6, 12, 18, 23. What people probably did is, well, 6 plus 6 gives me 12. Let me choose A. Lazy. Now, some people might have done that and said, well, let me do 12 plus 6. That gives me 18. Okay, it worked twice. That's my answer. Lazy. You better check your pattern all the way, because if you do 18 plus 6, you're not going to get 23. You're going to get 24. A does not follow the rule or the pattern of +6. And I'm willing to bet a ton of people chose that. So then I'd go 5, 10, 15, 20. Now, this is a scenario where it's okay to only check it once, because if you check it one time and you know 5 plus 5 is 10, you don't need to keep going, because it doesn't matter if the rest of them are +6. That first one's +5. So that couldn't be the answer. But honestly, you could eyeball that one and say, I know for a fact that one's not right. All right, so then we move on to C. It's 93, 99, 105, 111. 93 plus 6 would give me 99. 99 plus 6 would give me 105. 105 plus 6 would give me 111. So C would be my answer, but I'm still going to check D, because sometimes I make mistakes. I may have made one earlier, so I'm going to check them all. I'll feel a lot better if I can eliminate this one. 87 plus 6 is 93. 93 plus 6 gives me 99. So I know D would get eliminated. That would leave me with the answer choice of C. So if you chose A, look, I get it. It worked twice. You stopped. You chose the answer. But you better not miss that question twice, especially if you're in my class. I do not want to see somebody miss a number 4 2 days in a row. You've got to check your rule. And to me, that's the easiest question on here. It's just adding or subtracting. The rule might change tomorrow, but you've just got to check it. That's all you've got to do. All right, last but not least, you've got number 5. Y'all, we've been doing addition since kindergarten and first grade, right? Now, you weren't adding numbers this big, but it's just stacking and adding. So we got some big numbers here, some 100,000 numbers. Let's get the whiteboard cracking. All right, what do we got? We've got 134,924 plus 234,482. All right, so like we normally would, we're going to start in the ones place with our addition. 4 plus 2 gives me 6. So far, so good. Moving over to the tens place, 8 plus 2 gives me 10. 0 stays, 1 goes. Don't forget about that 1. Circle it if you have to. All right, so we're in the hundreds place, 9 plus 4. And y'all, use your fingers if you have to, okay? They're not just for picking boogers. Put 9 in your head, 10, 11, 12, 13. Plus 1 more gives me 14. 4 stays, 1 goes again. Go ahead and bring that comma down. 4 plus 4 is 8. Plus 1 more is 9. All right, moving to the 10,000s place. 3 plus 3 is 6. And last but not least, moving over to the 100,000s place. 2 plus 1 is 3. That gave me 369,406, which would give you an answer choice of C. Something I really tried to do on this week's Fan 5. If you look at the answer choices, look at A and look at C. They look very similar. I've done that on a couple questions throughout the week. So If you're somebody who's just going to go kind of quick and click, 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 you're going to make a mistake even though you did the right math. But at the end of the year on the EOG, if you do all the right work and you bubble the wrong answer, it's still wrong. So just know that I'm trying to trick you with some of these answer choices. Make sure you're looking at them very, very carefully. All right, that is Monday's Fantastic Five. Hopefully you found something in there that helps you. You're about to get in there and tackle Tuesday's Fan Five. Make sure you come back tomorrow so you can watch me go over the questions that you are about to do. Hopefully whatever you got yesterday, you are getting ready to climb a little bit higher today. If you're somebody who every single Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday takes the time to watch these videos, not only do I appreciate it, your teachers really appreciate it. That's what separates you from the rest of the students, not just in your class or our school, in Pitt County. Okay, the fact that you're taking the time, your time, to watch these videos and try to get better, that's got nothing to do with us. Okay, that's internal motivation, because I know for a fact if I wasn't doing something well, I would want to get better. So if you're taking the time to try and improve, that says a lot about you as a student. Just know that your teachers notice it. I notice it. It's very much appreciated. So good luck today. Crush it. See you tomorrow.